There's 3 new pools on Serendale or on Crystalville. What should you do? Let's go over that. I'll tell you what I did. Also, what I'm gonna do. I've had a lot of people ask me, how much money are you making questing your heroes? And I'm like, I don't know the ROI. There might be programs out there that hit on that, like this DFK tracker. I'm not sure how well they're working. I'll look into that. But what I'm going to do is you only want to sell your items on Serendale. You don't want to be selling your items on Crystalville right now because there's not much liquidity. There's no need currently. There's no use case for all those items that you're collecting. But once all the use case comes from Serendale over to Crystalville, that's when you're going to want to, and there's more liquidity to sell those items. We don't even have the vendor yet on Crystalville for gold. You don't even want to sell your gold. I looked, and gold is half the price, half the value on Crystalville as it is on Serendale. Why is that? Well, it's because we can't use the gold for anything yet. So it's just pure sell pressure. You don't normally want to sell anything currently on Crystalville. You want to be questing away and getting all this stuff and holding. Then once all the use case comes, and you don't want to provide liquidity either because it's just hard pressure of selling. With the Druid in the marketplace, you can provide liquidity for things. You could do that for runes because there's an actual use case. We need runes to level up. So people might come on here and need a rune and buy one. But even that, I'm not sure. There's probably way more sell pressure for the runes. So I don't recommend selling anything. I'm not selling anything on Crystalville. On Serendale, there's a lot of sell pressure there as well. So I'm not providing any liquidity except for runes, and I'll show you. I'll show you an update. It's making a little bit of interest, but not really. It's more sell pressure on Serendale because it's dying off. It's not profitable to quest on Serendale, and everyone's kind of selling out and getting out of Serendale. So we're sort of in this, it's a weird time to even be doing this test, but I'm going to do it anyways for you guys. I keep getting requests. How much money are you making on your heroes? It's not the best time to do that. It'll be better once everything's rocking and rolling on Crystalville. I think it's bullish. Everything's awesome. But I'm going to do it. So I'm going to do how much I made in 24 hours. I'm going to do how much I made in 1 week. I'm going to do in 2 days. We'll do the 2-day, 3-day. And I wrote down how many runes, green eggs, yellow eggs, and tiers I have. And so I have and how much jewel I have. And so we'll know right away. Okay. Also, gonna summon a couple Gen Zeros. I bought 2 more Gen Zeros. And I'm about to complete the tree. That's fun. And also a couple updates I wanted to mention before we get into this. These rates are crazy. They're a lot higher than I was expecting, but that's because there's not much liquidity, but it's growing fast. Look at it as we speak. Okay. One thing I found out today was that sending a miner, whether gold or jewel, but especially for jewel mining, if you send them at 20 stamina instead of 25 stamina or maximum stamina, you can get the unlocked bonus if you're jewel or crystal mining at 20 stamina. You can also get a yellow egg at 20 stamina. So to maximize your chances of maximizing your unlocked crystal or jewel and to maximize your chances of getting yellow eggs, you want to be sending your miners at 20 stamina. And then they go faster and more, and you have more miners going to maximize your chances of getting yellow eggs and the jewel unlock bonus or crystal unlock bonus. Also, I verified today that anytime you use gold, when like if you're crafting an item with the stone carver, you have to use gold. With duels, you have to use gold. Stamina potions, all the potions, a lot of stamina potions are burned through every day. All that gold is burned, 100% of it burned out of existence. The jewel, 1% of the jewels burned, but only 17% goes to the devs. And the devs have a strict, they can't even just dump the jewel. that 17%, that's how they're getting paid. That's how they're making their money, essentially. And I think for duels, it's a little different. It's supporting the devs, essentially, playing this game. And so that's awesome. That's bullish. 30% goes to the marketing fund, I think. 25% goes to paying other developers to develop in the ecosystem that we have, all kinds of things going. So that's bullish. I wanted to give you that clarification. Okay, so with this morning, I saw it was at almost 1,000% APR. Then right away I blink and it's at like 930% right away. So, but what I did was I sold my AVAX and bought ETH, pulled out of that pool, got into the Crystal ETH pool. And because I love getting that APR. But here's a couple things you got to consider. And then I also sold, I figured there's going to be some sell pressure on Joule. I didn't think it'd be too crazy, and it hasn't been too crazy. It dumped from 18.5 cents, and that's when I sold, actually. I sold my X Joule at 18.5 cents. And temporarily I sold my Joule. And then it dumped to 16 cents. From 18.5 to 16 cents, and now it's already back up over 17.2 cents. And so right away I put this, what I had in here in this X Joule pool, I put it into the Joule USDC pool. So there's upsides and downsides to doing that. I don't necessarily recommend it because these are just, look at the total deposited. That's the liquidity, only 118,000. That's probably going to go up to $1 million, I'm guessing, or maybe $500,000. This is at 6.3 million, the Joule X Joule. The Joule X Joule pool, also the X Joule as is, when you hold X Joule, you're basically, it's as if you have your Joule in the jeweler. And that's making, so your X Joule within this pool is making something, I think like 20-30%, I don't know. Maybe it's just like 15%, maybe it's come down, but you're making a little bit extra there. There's no impertinent loss, which is a bad term. I don't like that. There needs to be a different term. So basically what that means is if Joule pumps and you have it in this pool, what Joule's doing is it's selling into USDC. So yes, your pool's still going up, but if you had the Joule in this pool, you'd be making more. However, if the Joule dumps, if it crashes, you're basically buying up Joule with USDC if it crashes to even out the pool. If Joule's pumping, you're selling Joule into USDC to level the pool. That's how that pool works. It's only 4% allocation pool reward allocation. So yeah, it's not going up to $1 million with 4% allocation. Because this right here, this pool, X Joule pool, this at 6 million, is 35% of the reward allocation. So there's not additional rewards happening. They've just been distributed out. So this is another new pool. So there's 3 new pools. ETH USDC, which is awesome. That's paying 120%. And there's only 1% pool allocation there though. So we're going to see these APRs drop drastically. And if you are pulling stuff out and putting stuff back in pools, you have to leave it in there for at least like 3 days, I think 2 or 3 days, because if you don't, you're going to have to pay withdrawal fees. And if you need it in there for 2 weeks, and then it's a 0.1, at least 2 weeks, maybe it's 3 weeks. It's a 0.1 withdrawal fee when you withdraw, if you have it in for over 2 weeks, I think. Maybe it's 3 weeks. Keep that in mind. So that's the case with all these pools. So let's say this APR drops on these pools down to 100%, and you want to go back into the Crystal AVAX pool. Well, to withdraw, you're paying a withdrawal fee of potentially 1% or 0.5%. It's not crazy, but still, I mean, that could matter. And I immediately, when I sold my AVAX, I immediately went on FTX, and I've been dollar cost averaging in all day to build up a Joule bag, an AVAX bag, because I'm going to go back in this pool. And I've already put some of my reward. I've been putting my rewards into this pool because that also starts the time lock for withdrawals as well. So it's nice to have an established amount into the pool because the time lock starts. When you do that, you can withdraw and still keep some in the pool. You can do different things when you do that. So that's what I did. But this is bullish. That's awesome. We're gonna when garden questing goes live, we'll have more gardens to quest in. I think that's good. Some people were concerned about the jewel price, and they're partly right because there is sell pressure on jewel right now, but it's already come back up. So that's interesting. Okay, we can. If you have any questions, comment below. Like, subscribe, bell button, comment. Let's do a couple Gen Zero heroes. That's what I did. That's exciting. I think I still feel like that's bullish for the whole ecosystem because now, and what I did, one of the things I did with the Syntax bridge, which we got to be careful. That's my biggest concern about this blockchain. It's so new. I think that the Syntax bridge, which is in my description, is great. You can send from Binance Smart Chain, and you can send from all kinds of chains through that bridge. They're connected with Arbitrum now, and all kinds of chains are on that bridge. It was easy. It's so easy to use. So I had my ETH. I had an ETH USDC pool on the Binance Smart Chain and Pancake Swap, making 12% interest. So I pulled out of there, sent it here. But the problem is, what if the Syntax bridge is hacked? That's kind of scary because we have all our funds and everything stuck on this chain. So be careful going too crazy into this pool. But I did send a little bit more money to throw in those pools. It's nice getting tons of crystal rewards. I have it on a different account than this one. I'm using bots on all these accounts, and then I have my pools on an account, my original account, making the crystal. And then I have a video. As over time, I'll send my locked crystal that I'm accumulating to this one where I have my miners mining. Okay. Let's go to the Pocket Network. I need to get that link in the description as well for the Pocket Network. It's a game changer if you're not using it. Better than the Harmony mainnet RPC. You can add the Pocket Network. It's awesome. Okay, so I bought 2 more Gen Zeros, but they're not ready. They're going to be ready here soon. I'm going to have to do those later. I got my Knight, and let's refresh that. My Knight Warrior. These were near the floor. And I was like, I've been looking for months to buy a Knight Warrior Gen Zero pair who are miners, but they're just so expensive. It's like, I just can't ever find reasonable deals. And these 2 were level 8, level 6, and they were near the floor. So I was like, you know what? And the Knight is a decent gardener. So if you look on here, the vitality is 75%, wisdom 25%. And I'm going to do another video too, by the way, on Dizzy. Shout out to Dizzy. And this DFK Bliss guy, Bliss DFK at midnight. I think he's one of the devs, or he helps the team or something. He hit me up and basically said the same thing that Dizzy said about when leveling, the issue of leveling. I'm going to do another video. I might have to tweak my 10 commandments. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm still not sure. The devs hit on it on the AMA, but they dodged the question. They said, we still don't know, and this is subject to change. It's still up in the air of how to best level your heroes. Should we level them based off what we think they'll perform in PvP, or should we level them up and according to their profession so that they can then quest better, get more items, and level up faster? That's the debate. Because in training quests, and I admit I had said this in previous videos, but then I deleted the videos and redid them. The training quests are better for XP, generally speaking. But as you level your hero up, like my level 15 Thief, Fisher, who has 54 luck, if I send, he can't, once you hit 50 stat points, they block you. You can't go on that training quest. So then I have to go to agility where he's at like 36, and it's good, but it's not much better XP wise than just questing him as a Fisher. Well, once he's level 25, this is going to get more exponential. When he has a higher level, he's going to keep performing better and better and better as a fisher. Now they're going to come out with other quests and other ways to level your heroes up faster, hopefully. So, but what we know right now is that fishers look at luck and agility. I don't think that's ever going to change. Fishers need luck and agility. That's still my debate. But one thing I'm doing, just because all the OGs, Dizzy and all these guys are all saying the same thing that Hubert said, and this guy right here, this Bless DeFi DFK at Midnight, who develops weapons for DFK, I think he said he was in a meeting with Hubert. They hit on it. He asked him, and Hubert apparently, I'd like to hear it from his mouth, said yes. Dex, for the example I used in the other videos, Dex will not help a sage in the same way it will an archer for PvP. So what I'm doing now, and that's what he said. So we want to follow what the devs said, but then the devs hit on the AMA and dodged the question. So they said, we still don't know. It's still being developed. It's subject to change. So that's what they said in the last AMA yesterday, that I did a video on that because it wasn't on YouTube, killing me. So what I am doing now is, instead of on that example, when I'm leveling a sage, I am definitely doing intelligence as the guaranteed stat. If it's a foraging sage, I do intelligence for the guaranteed stat. And then I'm still debating of whether or not I should just ignore Dex altogether for a foraging sage. The sage is the second best forager in the game, tied with the summoner. And next only to the Dread Knight. What do we do with that? And so one thing, this Bliss guy, he said a couple things also that totally was like off base. Maybe he was just going too fast, but he just said a couple incorrect things that made me wonder how much into the game he really is. So I don't really know. Is it bad? Is it not going to help the sage to have lots of Dex who's a forager? I have tons of sages, fishers and other sages that I'm not going to have any Dex on. I like the idea of having an array of sages. That's a separate video. Anyways, okay, sorry. Back to this. So my Gen 0 heroes, Knight, Gardener, not bad. Archer's not a good Gardener down here, but that's okay. He's okay on Vitality. And then the Warrior's an okay Forager. And the Paladin is a great Gardener, not a good Forager. So it was like, but this guy was like at the floor, pretty much, of Gen Zeros. So I'm like, okay. And the Wizard's a good Forager. You know, I don't know. He's level 6. This guy's level 8. They're the higher level Gen Zeros as well. It was just, I went for it. I finally did it. I want to complete the tree. So I have Priest, Wizard, Gen 0. And they're miners. So back when I bought those, the floor miners were double the price. So that's a bummer, but that's okay. They're still awesome heroes. And then I have a Monk Pirate, and so I need an Archer Thief, and I want to eventually somehow get a mythic, one of those be a mythic. I want a mythic Gen 0, and I'd prefer to pair it with a legendary or 2 mythics. Because the Gen 0 heroes have been, even though I've gotten crushed on them, I bought my average buy on these 4, my first 4 that I bought, my average buy was, I think, around 15 grand. Now, right now, they're, floor is around 2 grand. The Brown Gent, shout out to the Brown Gent, he said he bought his for like 1,800 and some change. So I look periodically. I need to find, I know there's notification services of the tavern when things get listed. I need to get going on that, because I never, I'm checking periodically, but it's hard to find the good deals. People use bots to buy, I think. Okay. So this Wizard, level 10, so make sure you use 30 Gaia tiers. That gets 1 intelligent stat points, that's his highest stat point, and then it'll give 1 growth percentage stat point to who I summon. And then I've got the Priest. So I want to complete the tree, baby. Make sure you use the Gaia tiers. And the debate also, again, they're miners. I did craft. I was using the strength stone to help them on strength because they're miners. But everyone's saying, no, you're not. You're wasting it because that's not, strength isn't going to help a wizard warrior. A wizard or a priest or a summoner in PvP much. But I'm thinking surely it will still help in duels. It's good to have balanced stats. I don't know. It's like a short circuit in my brain to ignore the profession. The profession, gene, as I've heard it called, but skill, the profession skill, I was corrected on that. Anyways, okay, but I did craft yesterday. Stone Carver was out. Stone Carver was out right here. You want to make sure you've got 4 days left till he comes back. You want to make sure you have stones. Always use a stone. That's on the 10 Commandments. Okay. And using an endurance stone, because priest, pretty good. If a priest and summoners are a little better with endurance than they are strength. So if the PvP is that big of a deal, it's probably going to be, it's usually a minor, this summon. And so if they are a minor, it'll good they have extra endurance. That's the debate. And a priest, 60% for endurance, that's pretty good. That'll help him in PvP. So they're saying you just want to follow these stats, percentage. So for PvP, wisdom and intelligence, and then endurance are the 3 best for a priest. Those are the 3 stats you want to focus on when leveling your heroes. That's what they're saying. Ignore the profession. If you want a PvP hero, ignore the profession. Look at their best naturally leveled stats. With the wizard, they're almost the same, identical heroes pretty much, except wizards have 10% less on endurance, 10% more on intelligence. So that makes the wizard a little better forager, and it makes the priest, who's still an okay forager, a little better miner, who's not a great miner anyways. That's the bummer for the priest. Their best profession is gardeners. Okay, let's do this. Oh, it's killing me. This happened. Okay, begin summon. So we're gonna have 2 extra intelligence stat boosts. And 1 percentage boost for intelligence of their stat growth. We're also going to have, hopefully this doesn't lag because the bots are running, I'm fighting against the bots. We're also going to have 4 extra endurance stat points right off the bat. That's why these stones, and you're going to have 3% extra stat growth to the primary gene stat and 5% extra stat growth to the secondary gene stat. It's awesome. Stones are the way to go. I'm loving, I haven't been doing the raffles over the past few days. I should check on that real quick before I get off. We'll look at that. So I have some raffles. I really so desperately want to win the massive Greater Stone raffle where you get 4 of each Greater Stone. I have it on the, not the AMA questions, but the suggestions to have more winners for the raffles, and we need more Greater Stones anyways because they're overpriced. Okay, looks like we got a priest rare foraging. Wow, last time I didn't get a miner either. Okay, well, the stone didn't help that, but the intelligence did. You got 2 extra intelligence stat points, so that's good. Hey, we'll take it. Next. And it's good to refresh so he's not still sitting there. Okay, trying to not make these videos too long. Then we'll get off. Monk. Can't wait to get all these guys past level 10. Use those Gaiateers. Pirate. These guys are foragers. Yeah, they're foragers. And so I crafted, so those are wit stones. What is it? This is the Dex stone. So we'll go with Dex. this time. For PV, in case it's a good hero for PvP, if we get a ninja, that's the goal, he'll be jacked on Dex. Okay, let's roll. I crafted all those stones yesterday. We got 4 days left. You want to follow that. So we're going to get an extra luck stat point and an extra vitality stat point from those two heroes. We're going to get 4 Dex. We're going to get 3% added to the primary stat growth of Dex, 5% to the secondary stat growth of Dex. Summoner. The game is bullish. It's exciting. Hopefully, yeah, so tomorrow I'm excited also to show you how much money I made in one day. How much jewel, and I'll show you how much the jewel's worth. We'll do that tomorrow. Then I'll do it again the next day to show you how much I made in 2 days and I'm gonna do it on all 4 of my accounts and tell you exactly how much I made questing in 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and 1 week. I'll do updates on it. So I sold, in this account, I sold all my items at 6:30, wrote down the time, and I wrote down that I have 17 yellow eggs, 48 green eggs, 220 runes, and 1,661 tiers. So I have, and then how much jewel. Hey, interesting, we got a berserker again. Common, foraging, okay. So he's jacked with Dex. Berserker 63 on this one, 63% Dex. He's got a vitality boost. We'll take it. All right. Wish I could do my other 2 Gen Zeros that I just bought. Real quick, when you look at the castle, let's check the raffles. I haven't looked at this. I've just been busy making videos, doing other things. Okay, when does this one end? 15 hours. Whoa. Okay. I've got to see, it's 5 winners. 14,000 raffle tickets is a lot, right? I'm just gonna lose, probably. And this doesn't always work too. It's so weird. Like if I try, it says I can do 3,700. Let's try 3,600. I have to fight this all the time. It usually doesn't work. And it'll say not implemented, and it's like, where I can do it on other ones, but just see this RPC error. But then it might work if I put in 500. That's what's weird. Okay, like, subscribe, bell button. Yeah, that is gonna work. Like, subscribe, bell button, Crypto Grady out. Gonna do more videos, especially on the one about leveling. We gotta pin the devs down like a butterfly on a killing board, baby, and find out the juicy info about PvP. Right now we're leveling our heroes. This stuff's important. We got to know this stuff. Okay, love you guys. Crypto Grady out. Like, subscribe, bell button. Comment, questions, concerns, let me know. Comment.